Hey, welcome back, Bear Hug Outdoors. We have a quick little addition today. Got rained out at work this morning, so I hurry up, ran to Menards and picked up some lumber, some plywood and a couple pieces of lumber. And I've talked about it in other videos, but out of the factory, this boat only came with this deck right here and this, basically how this setup is here. There's really no room to put your feet, your other foot, when you're sitting on that back on the seat here in the back. So I'm actually going to frame this out and make this rear casting deck a little bit bigger. So I'm going to end up filling this area in and framing this right across from here, straight over there, right in front of or behind where these rod lockers will fold down. So going to make this area a little bit better, so when the person's here, you got more room to put your foot over here and do a little casting back there. Otherwise, I don't know. It's the setup they have there for that it's pretty bad. I've actually never even fished out of that. Oh, I got you blocked there. I've actually never even fished out of that seat right there before. But when I had the seat in there when I bought the boat, I did a test run and just sat back there, and it's not comfortable at all. So I'm gonna rip some plywood down and probably put a little ledger board on the back side of that right there and hang the plywood. And yeah, anyways, gonna frame that out, make that deck a little bit bigger, and that way I get some lights framed in there as well. All right, I'm gonna get to it. This is a little impromptu edition, a little impromptu boat edition today, which I'm happy about because I need to get this done. So this little rain day helps me out a lot. All right, so our bottom number is 58 tight. 58 tight. And we're gonna bring the deck up this high to the bottom of this vinyl, which still ends us putting us below this a little bit. There's gonna be a little bit of a step, but it can only go so high because of this vinyl. But that's all right. It's not an issue. And a quarter. Probably can't tell by the camera, but this angle's right here, so we gotta cut our piece to match that. All right, let's get out here and get a cut down on the plywood. 58 by 61. Oh. Yeah, all right, let's get out of the boat here. Go figure this cut out. Oh, I actually need to go figure out that angle first. Garage. Let me grab my little 2-footer here. Let me grab old Trusty. Okay, so show you how we get the angle started here. We know that our piece is going to be 11 inches high. Okay, and we know that we just leveled up from the bottom over there, and it's from the bottom up, it's 2 inches at an angle. So what you'll do is come to the bottom. I'm trying to do this with one hand, so bear with me. Come to the bottom, just measure over 2 inches like that, and then your piece is going to be 11. Oh, actually it's not 11, because we got to account for the plywood that's going to sit on top. So 11 minus 5/8. Okay, so the width of our plywood is 5/8, and we're going to have a piece sitting on top of that vertical piece we just raised. So the height is going to be 11 inches, but we're going to have we got to subtract 5/8 off of that. That leaves us down at 10 3/8. So 10 3/8. I'll just write that so I don't forget. 10 3/8. Okay, so now we have that. We unmeasured over 2 inches because we did that earlier. We knew what the angle was. Okay. Now, just scratch this. And that'll be our starting piece right there. Cut this off. All right, so what I'm gonna do to hold this top piece of deck on, when I put this top piece of plywood on, I'm actually just gonna screw on a piece of ledger board right here, level with that top of that piece of plywood. So when the other piece of plywood goes over the top, it can rest on this here, and I'm gonna do the same right in there and same over there. I'll put them pieces on and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, there's one ledger board on so far. Still gotta get that one put on. I'll get those drilled and screwed, and then I'll show you what it looks like after that. All right, there we go. So I got my little ledger boards on there. Just gonna screw those on there. And now I'm gonna figure out dimensions for the angles on this back part of this deck here. We'll get that cut, do some test fits in there, make sure it fits good. That'll sit right on top of there, sit on top of them 2x4s for support. I might actually make just a little bit of support right here in the bottom, just for a little extra, little vertical support there to help it out, but not too worried about on these sides here. That's not much, about 6-7 inches, so that should be fine the way it is. And there we go. This is how you make your rear casting deck bigger. Okay, got all my numbers here. Probably looks like chicken scratch, hard riding this 2x4, but I just took all my measurements here on all this angle pieces back here, the width of that, and then, you know, to get this angle here to fit. So I just got all those measurements taken, wrote on my 2x4. Now I'm gonna transfer it down on this piece of plywood, and we'll get this piece cut, do a couple dry fits, make sure it fits good, how we like it. Probably, I'm sure we'll have to do a little trimming here and there, but yeah, let me get this piece laid out here and see what it looks like. All right, there's the layout. Got the plywood, got the layout on the plywood here. So this piece is staying, goes back, all of this, all of that is staying, this is staying. What gets cut out is this piece here, that gets cut out, and this piece right here gets cut out. And in a perfect world, that's gonna slide right in there and fill that slot on the deck right there. got these, no, the two little corners here, just got to finish. Right on the sawhorse. It's hanging on just barely right here. A lot of people probably don't know what that is.
A handsaw?
Yeah.
You're probably right.
There it is. All right, let's see. All right, the first test run, not so good. This side is pretty good, but this stuff is really kittywampus in here, so we gotta trim a little out, take a little off the back, get this to wing. All right. Dad just did another revision. Spot revision number 4 right now. See how this fits once he brings it back, but it was pretty close, or pretty close to on the money. Okay, we got a gap there, which would be good. That'll be carpet. There's room for carpet everywhere back there. But it's close right here again, though. I wonder if we don't take just a little bit of this off and then call her good. Because see how we're close to that door? By the time you get carpet on there on both sides.
Yep.
I think we do that. Take another 1/4 inch off this straight piece right there and call it a day.
How about the other side? That all good?
The other side I think looks pretty... maybe we could take a little off that too, just to be safe, huh? It's like a 1/4 there now. Yeah, we better take a 1/4 off the back.
1/4 off both of these.
1/4 off both of them. And... all right, there it is. Got the plywood cut for the rear deck, extending the rear deck out. This little bit of extra room right there for somebody to put their foot down on both sides is going to be a lot. I mean, it's really gonna... I don't know how you would ever sit up there before. You'd sit there and one foot would be back by the motor and then one foot would be up here, I guess, but this is gonna be a lot more comfortable like this. What do you... what are those for?
Well, that's that square I'm gonna cut out of the center of this. Like here. Cut it out here, from here down, and here up, and then put a screen in there.
I guess it does cover all the mesh back there, but...
I don't know what they're for, but they had them for a reason.
Or do we just notch this out right here?
No, that's not enough air. No.
So how much air do you need?
Enough for ventilation.
All right, so what we're fighting about is out of the factory. This smoker craft came with these air vents here because the fuel's underneath there, but behind that door is wide open, so I think it gets plenty of air. I do not want to, I personally don't want to put a vent back in the front. I think it's got enough air going out the back. He wants to put a vent in there, so let me know in the comments, is it supposed to have a vent in the front? I've never seen it before, but let me know. All right, well, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in on the rear deck build. Tune back in when we have the carpet applied, and we'll put the lights in it and fasten it down and go from a very small casting deck to a medium-sized casting deck in the back. So if you got any questions on how to do it, ask in the comments, and I'll do my best to let you know what we did here. So I'm gonna get the rest of it carpeted and get her in. Tune in next time after that for the front deck's gonna be going on. and the other council is going to start heading in. So we're getting pretty close to getting on the water. Thanks for tuning in. Bear Hug Outdoors. Till next time. Peace.